here's the serve analysis I thought you guys were going to put together. So I have you side by side for a couple of the serves that you showed me last week. And so when we're using the wrist to do a lot of work, the thing is it's very hard to replicate what you're doing from serve to serve. So I have a couple of them pulled up and just a line to where like the bottom of the racket is. And so when we use the wrist to generate as much power as you do, so this blue line is kind of just the bottom of where the racket goes. And it's just, we're probably like 1.5 foot difference from the left to the right one in terms of the path that you have to then travel up to hit the ball with the racket. And the timing on this is different, which is why you get such varying results on if you hit the ball long or into the net. It's much harder to replicate this every single time. And like the difference could be, 1/10 or 1/4 of a second in how you're hitting. And that's what makes it so volatile for you to feel so little control on your serve. We'll put you side by side with a pro. 1 second here. Here we go. So back to what we'll probably work on for your service motion. So I'll just have you side by side. We're going to walk through a couple of key steps here. As you're moving through, I like all of this setup all the way to trophy. This looks really solid. So up to here, I'm going to get the trophy for her as well. I like this setup. I see a bit of your chest and your left shoulder, so you've coiled around plenty. Your hips are aligned over to the right, your shoulders aligned a little bit further, so you've coiled back around, building energy with the body so that we can release everything. That's really fantastic. I'm just move forward on the pro side here. And so very, very similar is she's got a little bit more coil than you. That's totally fine. But we see the left side of her shoulder, which is really important. Okay. And then so from here, as I inch forward for you, this part looks really good. And now if you pay attention, your wrist here is really starting to lean backwards. And because of that, this is what the kind of driver of your power. I'm going to keep going just a little bit more. And if we point to the direction of your strings, they're already facing upwards. So you mentioned, the waiter tray serve. This is what it is the strings are still pointed upwards, and then already releasing the stretch here, pointing upwards all the way to the ball. Now, while we're starting to learn to hit the serve, it makes a lot of sense because all of these arrows are pointed up to where you're hitting the serve, towards the service box. So we've aligned everything, so we know that it's going to go in the right direction. Now you got to control the power from there. But on the pro side, it's a little bit different. So I'm going to inch forward here. And then, so the arm is dropping. There's no bend back in the wrist. So if I just draw a line from elbow to wrist, it's pretty neutral the entire time. There's no laying back of the wrist this way, okay? And then so what happens because of that is the hand rotates. And this is what I was talking about. The hand right now is pointed kind of towards her ear. And what that allows us to do is the racket points kind of, this is probably a spin serve for her, but it's pointed way out to the side. Yeah. With the hitting surface inverted at this point. Pros are known to be able to hold this forever, but the hitting surface of her racket right now is pointing down into the court behind her. We keep going forward. Now the strings are pointed to the left. Zoom just a little bit here, and then here it's still coiled back, and we're gonna keep going. And now it's facing towards the box. So the pros hold this stretch and release much longer. Is why they get as much power as they do. So here now the strings are facing forward, and then the release, and the strings are facing over to the right. So they've got a lot more built up that they're releasing through. I believe you did a pretty good job, maybe not on this serve, but you did a pretty good job of releasing your strings here. So you've got part of it done. We need more of the body and the shoulder being pulled forward to release this stretch prior to hitting the ball. You've got the release down. Now we've got to get the coil back using more from your back and your shoulder and your body pulling rather than your wrist really laying backwards and slapping at the ball here. Okay. That's the focus kind of moving forward. Let me know if you have any questions. We'll have to go through this piece by piece.